Hi everyone, my name is Yiwun from ATEN Enterprise Product Center.
Hello everyone, my name is Harry. I'm also from Enterprise Product Center as well.
The topic we are going to present is reimagining the future of a control room. Another subtopic is what is ATEN Mr. Do? Before we introduce ATEN Mr. Do, Harry and I want to show you something interesting about Mr. Do. Let me go first. It is Mr. Do, a video game, arcade video game developed by Universal in 1982. You can see there is a little snowman. Try to score as many points as possible by digging tunnels and collecting cherries. And he is constantly chased by red monster, but he can defeat the monster by a large apple. Okay, so here he is digging tunnel, collecting cherries. Okay, and there's a big apple dropping. Try to defeat the monster. After he collected all apples or cherries, the level complete. So this is the Mr. Do video game. What about yours, Harry?
And my Mr. Do, actually one of my good friend, and his nickname is actually Mr. Do. And my friend, he likes biking. He's like biking every single day. So one day he asked me, Harry, do you know like why my bike cannot stand on its own? And I got confused, and I finally figured out. Do you know why, Yiwun?
No, I don't. Why?
Because he told me because his bike got too tired, so it cannot stand on its own.
Okay, okay. So your Mr. Do is too tired. Okay.
Too tired.
Yeah. Okay. So let me start. So what is ATEN Mr. Do?
So in order to talk about the ATEN Mr. Do, we would like to share with you our imagination for the future of the control room. So first, we would like to share with you guys about the trend in the control room. So control room is actually designed for the centralized monitoring system status and also centralized control related devices with the small operations in this kind of mission critical applications. So there are 5 trends in the modern control rooms. The first one is actually the flexible information visualization. In order to have the information integration with the better visualizations, the modern control room, it requires the multiple display and the video world to help the fast decision makings. The second trend is the operation and the machine separations, because in the old-fashioned control rooms, the machines is actually located in the seat in front of the operators. However, in the modern control rooms, operator is actually separated from the machines. And also, the main reason the separation is to minimize the human error and then maximize the efficiency and the productivities. The third trend is the 24/7 operations without any interruptions. The main reason is the control room is actually the mission critical environment. So non-stop operation is actually a key in control room with the redundancy design and the power failover design. The next trend is going to be the device integration and for the centralized control. Because the integration for the multiple control room devices is pretty important with the intuitive user interface, because it can simplify the process in order to increase the whole control room's efficiency. The final trend is the ultimate security. In control room, the security is very, very important because control room is the mission critical environment. So access privilege, permission control, or the signal transmission encryption is also very important because only the authorized person or the operator can access the classified server or the systems. So this is the trend in control room. And I would like to share with you about the control room's requirement in order to be more specific. So the control room can be divided in 3 different parts: video wall, seats, and the computer room. So let's take a look at the video wall and the seats, because these 2 parts are pretty similar, because the video wall and the seats are all the monitor or oriented. So for the video and the seats requirement, the multi-interface supported is pretty important, including like the VGA, DVI, HDMI, and the DP interface with the Full HD resolution and the 4K resolution support. Also, it requires the high video quality as like the original videos. And also in control rooms, it needs to display the multiple information in the same time. So it requires the multi-display, multi-view, and the panel array, these kind of features. And like I shared with you before, the modern control room, the machine is going to be located in the server room. So we will need the KVM extensions from server room to the seats, with the instant switch ability to the different servers or the systems. And if you need a collaborations, the modern control room will require the push and pull these features for the immediate sharing. Also, for the audit purpose, it requires the operation recording, including the video recording, keyboard and mouse, every keystroke recording. If there is any mistake happening in the future, and we can just check and audit what's the main reason for this kind of mistake. And for the third part, computer rooms, the devices in the control room is pretty important for the redundancy design, because the control room is the mission critical environment. So it needs like the power failover design, network failover design, or the connection redundancy designs. Also, all the devices from the control room, it needs the high scalability and the high reliability as well. And it requires the high security requirement design, including like permission or the access control or the transmission encryption, in order to let the authorized person to access the classified server and systems. Also, in the modern control room, flexible expansion architecture is important, because for our KVM flexible expansion architectures, you just need to purchase the extra KVM if you have the new servers coming. You don't need to, replace the whole original KVM architectures. You can just purchase the extra KVM into the current KVM architecture systems for the flexible expansions. So we have spent tons of time studying in the control rooms, and we can divide into the 4 different control rooms based on the different purpose and the different working type. Monitoring control room, reporting control room, dispatching control room, and the operation control rooms. The key of the monitoring control room is the monitoring abnormal system status, and the key of the reporting control room is the information collections. And the key of the dispatching control room is the fast dispatching the incoming case. And the key of the operation control room is the multitasking and the concentration on the operations. First, let's take a look about the monitoring control room. The monitoring control room, the key of it is actually the monitoring the system status. So the abnormal system status will be need to monitoring in order to make sure to react immediately if there is any emergency happening. For the reporting control rooms, the key of the reporting control room is the information collections. So continuous reporting with the latest status, it will be critical in order to make the prompt decisions in the emergency situation with the trained expert and the related authorities. The dispatching control room, the key of the dispatching control room is the fast dispatching. So fast dispatching the incoming cases to the counterpart, such as like sending the fire engine, sending the ambulance to the front line or the first responders. The last one is the operation control room. So the key of the operation control room is the multitasking and the concentration on the operations. The main task is going to be the operator must perform the task with the high concentration and the high efficiency in order to make sure the whole operations go smoothly. So, to sum up, this is our control rooms study for 4 different types of control rooms: monitoring control room, reporting control room, dispatching control room, and the operation control room. First, let's take a look. For the video, these features, monitoring control room, reporting control room, and the dispatching control room is going to need this kind of video feature because the supervisor or the administrator will need a video to monitor whole system status. But the operation control room is not necessary for this kind of video because the operation control room, the key of it is the multitasking, not the monitoring system status. And let's take a look for the first one, monitoring control room. The key of the monitoring control room is actually the monitoring system status. So if there is any emergency happening, you will need a cabin extension and cabin operation for the emergency operations. Also, for the monitoring control room, it requires the display the multiple information in the same time. So it needs the multi-display, multi-view, and the panel array, these kind of features. Also, if you need the collaboration, you will have to use the push and pull, this kind of feature for the immediate sharing. For the reporting control room, the key is the information collections. So, environment control is pretty important because you can use the environment control with the intuitive user interface to switch the video immediately to the video mode, and with the latest status update to the authorities or the chairmen. For the dispatching control rooms, the key is the fast dispatching. So you will need a cabin extension and the cabin operation for the fast dispatching by the keyboard and mouse. Also, it requires like the display multiple information in the same time. So it needs the multi-display, multi-view, and the panel array this feature to fulfill this kind of requirement. Also, if you have any emergency, like you are not sure how to deal with that, you will need to push and pull these features to collaborate with your supervisor or your colleague. For the last feature, operation control rooms, it will require the cabin extension and cabin operation because the key of the operation control room is the multitasking and the concentration operations. So cabin extension and cabin operation by the keyboard and mouse is pretty important. And the push and pull is also a key because if you need the collaborations, you will need to push and pull these features for the collaboration with your colleagues and your supervisors. So this is ATEN's Mr. Do. So there are 4 different types of control room I would like to share with you guys. So what do you think about ATEN's Mr. Do, Yiwun?
Yeah, it's great. And thanks for your detailed explanation and introduction for this ATEN Mr. Do. And we have shown them my Mr. Do is an arcade video game, and you show your Mr. Do is too tired.
Yes.
And you also show ATEN Mr. Do is about 4 types of control room. So if you want to know more about the ATEN control room solution, please stop by our booth at the Computex. We are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I still got